pretty vanilla for both of you guys. Now
Yeah,
Apple
it has to, like what you're saying is this is what I think. When I heard this news, it got me really excited for Apple, because the one positive thing that I can think of right away, when you own the ecosystem, which I'm not a fan of, right? I like to customize, but when you're able to own the ecosystem, then you're able to make everything more efficient. That's why when you get a console, even though it has so much less power than a computer, the fact that all the games have to be made using the parameters of the same console, like, right? Like when a PC game is made, they need to make it so that this runs on millions of configurations of PC with different RAMs, different graphics cards, different CPUs. But when you make a game for Xbox or PlayStation, all of them have to make the game based on these measurements. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So when Apple is making their product, if they have all the pieces that they make themselves, then they can make the software even more optimized than what it is already. So think about this. They're already so optimized to their own software that the fact that now they're going to be making their own CPUs, this is not only a great news for Mac, this is a great news for the world. This is going to change, in my opinion, the PC and the computer world, because on the PC side, Intel's going to be like, oh, I'm not providing chips for Mac anymore, which is half of the market. They're making their own chips. So now they're not my client, they're my competition. So I have to fucking make even better chips, so that better chips. Sorry, that probably sounded like battle chips because of my accent. But they need to make more gangster Intel chips so that people want to decide to make a PC computer to use the Intel chips that are stronger than the Mac Silicon. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna make, cause and it incentivizes competition, which is what I love. When there's this competition coming in, it's gonna make Intel and AMD be like, fuck, man, this motherfucker's making their own CPU now. We gotta get our game up, because for a while Intel could be like, yeah, we got you, Mac. Yeah, we're gonna give you the best chip. But then on their end, they're like, yeah, but we want to make good Intel chips for PC too, because we sell them too. Yeah. So you have a little conflict of interest without even really wanting it.
Exactly. And honestly, the that is going to be a really good thing. And you know, AMD, the reason why now the fight between Intel and AMD was always there was because Intel was able to gather more market share by including Apple. So AMD optimizes better for Windows, in my opinion. You know, I know that there's different ones that you could do for Mac, but they've optimized better for Windows. So that's why you were able to and they were in less demand. So that drives their price down. That's why everybody's like, what you get for AMD is more bang for your buck. Yes, because the demand is higher for Intel, and so now it's gonna equal out. Don't be surprised if AMD chips go up and Intel chips go up.
I'm in that battle right now because I need to build a new power station, and for the first time in my life, I was actually considering going with AMD.
Yeah,
and you do get more bang for your buck at this stage. And in a few months, the new chip from AMD is coming out, which is Ryzen 4000. So that's why right now I'm kind of waiting to see where I go with. I do still like Intel because of the stability and the many years that they've been making the same nano chip, which makes it, you know what I mean? They have, I think, about 8 years making the same architecture, just improving it. And AMD kind of just started with this new architecture that seems to be working. But they third party their chip manufacturers in China. It's not like Intel where they do it all themselves. Yeah. And I'm not an Intel fanboy because they do go expensive and they try to fuck you over by taking many versions out. And it takes someone like me that really likes to research to figure out what chip is really good for you. Yeah. But I mean, this happens with AMD as well. As they try to come out with.
But that's just it. Every business has their own flavor of how they're gonna get you. You know what I mean? There's always a catch, and that's, you know, you say that you didn't like the Apple I mean, you're not a fan of the Apple. I'm sorry, you didn't even say that. But what I'm saying is that Apple will hook you by keeping you in that business model. Well, Intel had their version of it, and AMD